683 Show. Welcome everyone to this week on the 6873 Show. Today we are actually going to be sharing some personal stories about bad bosses and really bad places that we've worked at before we became rich and famous on the 6873 Show. Thank you, Patreons. If we had any.
Yeah.
So anyway, stay with us. I think it's going to be a really fun show. My name is Ren. The other hosts of the show, of course, are...
Of course, I'm Rossi. And we also have...
Ion and this beautiful woman next to me.
It's Toki, and we're joined today with our very own fish stick, Guild, and of course this beautiful feline, Melanie.
Ren's personal body pillow.
Would you shut up? Do I need to put you on the stake?
I don't know whether to be terrified or aroused.
What, a bit of surf and turf?
Okay, so bad bosses, horrible workplaces.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of us has been there, done that. I know I have, and I know some of these people have too. If you have a wonderful workplace, yes, but
it's kind of funny, no matter where you are in the world, there are certain themes that everybody can gel with, and one of them is horrible work environments.
Yes.
I will say, though, that if your boss is actually your parents, that does not count because they're your parents. They're entitled to boss you about.
Depends on the situation.
Don't growl at me.
Well, I
am
mean...
36. My mom is not the
26.
boss of me.
I'm 26.
Toki, imagine this. You worked for your mom at your own little business. You did something wrong. Your mom, being your mom, gets mad at you, puts you over her knee, spanks you as an employee, and says, "Don't do that again."
It will.
She's
It
gonna.
takes
I don't
me
know
about
which
2
side to bite
seconds to get over there with the scythe.
She's gonna bite
I
someone.
don't know whether to question or just look at you, Ren, and go, "What kind of childhood did you have?"
Right?
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
Oh my
Well, I
God.
kind of know. Benin?
Disgusting.
Oh dear.
What?
Did you just poop yourself?
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
What he said. Oh dear.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah, I mean, if you're working for your parents, you're still always going to be the kid.
I just don't know where. I don't know where he was going with that conversation. Was he going there with that conversation of a, sort of
Don't make me get up. I'm
incest
lazy,
porn,
okay?
or was he going on the
But I'm
side
not that
of
lazy.
I mean, now that you bring it
Don't
up,
piss off drumsticks.
Zachary?
Yes.
I might be lazy, but I'm not that lazy.
I know nothing.
Alrighty. Back to the original conversation we were having on the show. Now.
Okay, so who's gonna
The
start?
problem is it's been that long, I've forgotten it.
I'll tell
We
you
have a
what,
subject
what
for today?
gentlemen here, ladies first.
Yes.
Melanie.
My experience was very short, which is great. I was warned by a fellow employee that my boss might flirt with me because of my figure, because at the time I was like size 10, but it's like big old
Nice hourglass. Damn figure.
You just gave Ren a fantasy.
Will you shut up while the lady is speaking?
I didn't think anything of it, but then he kind of flirted with me and I just brushed it off. I was lucky. I was so lucky because he noticed that I was uncomfortable and backed away like a man should, even though he shouldn't have done that in the workplace to begin with. But at least he backed away.
Yeah.
But was that
See, it's funny.
at least it's like
sorry.
Sorry.
So, sorry. I was just going to say, it's funny. It's appreciative the fact he backed off. And yes, you're right. He shouldn't have done it in the first place. But it's, I must admit, I worked in a place once before where it was traditionally a male-orientated, if I said that right, workplace. So it was like the typical bloke humor, innuendos and all that stuff. And there was women that worked there as well in the environment, and they did kind of bounce off each other with like I say flirtatious conversation kind of thing. So it could have been a case that he was trying to sort of, I don't know, test the water, if you want to call it that. But it's good that he backed off, but it's still not right that he did it in the first place.
Yeah, I remember one of the places I worked at, we had a person that would always had no problems telling everyone his deepest, darkest sexual fantasies while we're at work.
Oh dear.
I know I'm flirtatious and perverted, but not even I would do that in a group full of people I don't know.
No.
Especially not at your workplace.
Exactly. Right? That's probably the worst place you can do it.
Jeez. You don't dip the pen in the company ink.
Exactly.
No.
I think the worst part is we're coming up on the holiday season, and we're trying to get work done. We're busy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I had this fantasy, that Santa Claus naked on a bag," and he was like, "Dude, just stop right there. Just stop. No."
Who would fantasize about Santa Claus?
When was this? What
This
year
was
was
a long time ago.
What was it, Meg
that
Griffin?
explains a lot.
Yeah.
It's I don't need to be hearing about this kind of stuff while I'm at work trying to get a job done.
All right, honey.
Toki.
Well, in 2015, I think it was, I was working in the store selling clothes, and I was there on like an internship kind of thing because of my health condition. They had to figure out how much I could work. I worked full time, which I shouldn't have been, but apparently that was required of me because I was in the wrong box. So, anyway, I worked my ass off. I had my sick days in between, yes. But they kept on saying, listen, just when your contract is gonna end, we can have you in and you can like be a student so you can grow within our company and such and such. So they will pay for my school so I could be like graduated as a salesperson or something. 2 weeks before my contract end, the boss comes and tell me, listen, we had to cut down on staff. We can't keep you. 2 weeks before my contract ends, I had no chance of searching for a different job. Great. And the day it ended, by the way, we can go into the neighbor's restaurant and just get pizza. Well, fuck your pizza. I'm gonna eat it, but I'm not gonna be happy about it. Because who says no to free food? I mean,
got one.
It was so stupid. And he treated us like shit. It used to be a women's clothing store just for women. And it had a different department for kids, but it was separated in the same store. Then all of a sudden they had the bright idea to mash it all up So for all ages except for men. And one of the employees said, listen, I didn't sign up for this. I wanted to work with women's clothes, not the kids' clothes. Because we had down to the baby sizes. And she's like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I want to resign. Instead of taking her into the office and talk to her, he literally screamed and yelled at her in the store in front of us
Shit.
and customers. You can just get the fuck out of here, you blah 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 blah. All the way she walked out. And I just looked at him like, what? The fuck
That kinda
happened?
sounds familiar.
All the staff walked out then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went
Damn.
into the back. I was not having any of that. Because I knew as soon as he turned around, you could see the anger in his face. And his face was red as a tomato. He had a temper. Even with me, I had talked to one of the employees and she didn't get her money because she gave, like, it was one number off from her bank account. So she asked me and I said, I got paid and maybe you should just ask the boss because it could be something wrong with that. So she goes to him, tells him that she talked with me and that I got money, but she didn't. So she made it like I conspired, whatever fuck it was. I went behind his back talking about this, and he came up to me and like, why didn't you tell her to blah blah blah? And I said, I told her calmly. Contact the boss. Maybe it's an error. And then he started to raise his voice, and I'm like, I was trying to fold clothes, and I just took this this t-shirt and I just threw it on the table. I'm like, look what you made me do now. And I just walked off. I was pissed. He actually apologized for that. That was the first and only time he apologized. Ever. Talk about workplace from hell.
You know,
And
that
he
actually
owned the
reminds
store with
me
his wife.
of a story. There was, you know, a resort lodge, and some of my friends were telling me about this. And there was this girl that worked there. She was a busser or a waitress at a really fancy, really high level ski resort lodge. And there was some with, you know, you get tourists and guests like that, and you get some of them who are just not nice people.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were giving her a big trouble. Then they went to the the pit boss there and stuff like that. So, oh, well, she's just being snippy and stuff like that and whatever. And she was like bending over backwards, every little thing to help them. So she's out there in the middle of this huge, very high ritzy restaurant, and the pit boss comes out and says, you know, we've had complaints from this customer here, and you know, we can't have that kind of here, so you just have to go. She, without missing a beat in front of everyone, yells out, "Thank you, really? I don't have to work for these assholes like you anymore." Yelling this in front of everyone. "Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't have to work with these asshole cuntards anymore. Thank you." Literally just walking through the thing. "I don't have to work with these fucktards anymore. Thank you, I'm free."
Nice.
I actually,
You
the
girl,
funniest
girl.
thing is that sounds like me whenever I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings. As soon as they let me go, I'm like, okay, I don't have to work with you retards anymore. So give me my last check
Fuck
and
this shit,
pray to
I'm
God the
out.
FDA and CDC don't shut you down again.
But honey, you had a very interesting experience. Not the job where you were at, but the job before that.
Oh,
That was a
which
very
one?
interesting workplace. Well, the lamps.
The cleaner?
Oh, the one with the level 8 Karen.
oh, wasn't it the cleaner one?
Oh,
One
it
that
was
had
both.
such a shady history. Oh,
It was both.
Yeah.
But no, I'm okay.
I'm gonna try to
The
keep
time where
names
the-
out, and I'm gonna try to keep materials out of it.
Yes.
So if they
Yes.
come at me, I was like, you said this, and this, like, no. This is the experience I've had with them, And honestly, seeing them now and where they're sitting at now, all I can do is laugh.
Well,
Because
fuck you.
Tell them about the one where the company literally had a special visit because their papers.
Oh, yes. This company said they've been around since 1956 in this local area. I looked up their paperwork. They haven't been around since 2016.
Oh.
The previous company that they originally signed under has changed hands. You
Phone
good over there?
notification. Really jump.
This is where we would say in the UK, I smell the farmyard.
But they
Bullshit.
changed the name 4 separate times because of illegal obligations and building code violations. The same building for all 4 of them companies. And if I remember correctly, it was the CDC that walked into the building and saw 400 internet wires strand throughout the ceiling, not even hooked to the ceiling, just dangling there, my neck height. My neck height.
Word.
So if I was to walk through the building with nothing around my neck, I would have looked like the mummy from Hotel Transylvania in 5 seconds.
Oh my word.
Is that what they call wireless?
I guess so. They call it that these days. But the funny thing is, they
I know it's definitely wired.
The thing is that they didn't keep me because I was too good at my job. They said I got done with the jobs too quickly. I've done everything by the book correctly and under the short amount of time that I am scheduled to do it, or was scheduled to do it. What normally would have taken a 2-hour wax job, like stripping the floors and re-waxing them and all that kind of stuff, I did it under 30 minutes. And we're talking about 100 to 200 square foot building. And they looked at me and was like, you should have stayed more. We get paid by the hour. I want to get the job done and get the fuck out of here. All right, where was I?
My apologies.
Oh yeah, it was like right after the CDC decided to walk into the building, they looked at me and then looked back at the owner, looked back at me, then looked at the owner and just said, go home.
You know what? That literally that literally thought that was going to be the beginning of a Weird Al Yankovic song. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I looked at him.
I could just hear the voices of the owners as the CDC walked in, and all I could hear is, "Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!"
Oh no!
Basically.
No! The funniest thing is, the man who owned it is only 3'2".
Oh, short man syndrome
Nobody's
as well.
shorter than me.
And he looked at me like before they even walked into the door, and he hid inside one of the shelves.
Go bye bye.
I'm not here. You cannot see me. I am undercover.
But the
Somebody
thing
let
that
me
got me
out.
laughing,
We
the
have
thing
a
that got me
runaway
laughing
Oompa
for the
He's
most, the thing that
Honey, hold on. Hold on.
gotta have that dirty laundry.
Okay, no, hold on. Which part killed you? Which part killed you?
I was just imagining this little 3-foot guy hiding behind the chairs when the CDC turned up.
The voice was like the tower.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's
Could I
fine.
continue
What's wrong
now?
with
Continue.
this?
Yes,
Okay.
continue.
So the thing that got me laughing out of everything was just the CDC people walking in, and there goes my controller
Just
again.
looking over the
Goodbye.
desk like,
Basically, I'm
Hello,
not going to
little
get that
guy.
because I'm on a very comfortable like beanbag I got from my new job. But
even though his hand now looks
think of
very
it.
ludicrous.
I'm sorry. I just hear that. I'm not gonna get that because I'm comfortable. You see one arm go limp.
Wank cramp.
Oh
I think this is the first time I've actually heard Toki snort.
now, as I continue,
no!
as I continue from now on,
these
this
two.
episode is now recorded with me with only one hand. Now,
Go get the goddamn controller, you lazy ass.
But he's comfy.
You raised me up when I was at my worst.
Oh my god.
Oh fuck! I just broke my bed again. Shit. Fuck.
What is this, like the 10th time?
15th time.
You're supposed to break it with Toki, not in front of Toki.
Yes.
Fair point.
Yes. You're doing this prematurely.
What the fuck are you doing?
He's practicing.
Honey, I thought you got a new bed and then
You had a
break this
premature
too?
breakage.
No, honey, I haven't had a bed frame. My thing's being held up by 2x4s. I'm a chunky
Oh
dude.
god.
Okay, I'm a chunky dude.
That might be.
At least I haven't
No
done a
wonder you-
full weld job yet.
Yet. Keyword,
now I
yet.
understand why you want another beanbag, so you don't have to sleep on the bed.
Rosie's dying.
Okay, if we're gonna edit this out, I need it for TikTok.
Like really, literally,
Please.
this
For
bed,
the next
this
blooper
bed
reel.
frame. This bed frame is legit like 20, 25 years old. It has survived a hurricane. I'm not surprised this bitch is finally falling apart.
No offense.
It has the
Sitting
right
with-
to fall apart now.
Survive your
Sitting with
chunky
him.
ass.
No, sitting with him in VR chat, and all of a sudden you see his avatar. His avatar does this. I'm like, what did you do? My bed broke. My bed broke.
Okay. What's even funnier, that actually wasn't the bed. That was the that was the box spring. And that was new. And that was new. Alright. Well, all I just saw was the CDC picking up their pen and going like on the wires, and I was just standing there staring at them through the jungle of fucking wires. And I just told him, like, I'm going out. I'm going to lunch. If you need me, he's hiding in the cabinet.
Just like that little boy voice in the back of your mind. I'm in danger.
I am not here. I am not here.
But
you cannot see
the
me.
thing
I am
is,
undercover.
the thing is that the company was going through so many changes, so many different like brandings, names, and shit like that. And that at some point, he had the smart idea. Y'all know cargo vans, right? Ford cargo vans.
Yes.
So he had the audacity to buy an old school's cargo van that had a rotten out floor. And he said, why don't you just tack weld a bunch of sheet metal back to the floor so we can use it again?
Is
Oh,
he asking
dear.
for a lawsuit?
Yep.
2
Yes.
weeks later. 2 weeks later, I look at the side of the road and all I could see as I was driving the van to one of the locations, all I could hear was a giant
Sparks.
thunk.
Oh no!
I looked at the dashboard and the check engine light came on. I'm like, oh.
Shit.
That's not good.
Did it turn into the Flintstones car?
It didn't turn just into a Flintstones car. Literally, the entire front end of the van, like, it sits like this. It had a little bit of suspension on it. all I could see was the front of the van sitting up like that.
Oh, no.
The motor detached.
The ass of the car.
Motor.
Oh,
The motor
dear.
detached and swung under the belly of the vehicle. And you can just see it just sitting there, propped up like a damn squatted truck that was scratching its ass.
What? The engine mounts failed.
Rusted
Yeah.
away.
Fuck.
The whole
hell.
engine is gone.
And I was sitting on the side of
Fuck,
a
a
busy fucking road, and everyone just looked at me and was like, "Are you good?" I just rolled down the window slightly. I'll be with you in a minute. I'll be with you in a minute.
You can
I
just
just
roll
had to
here
scratch.
when you try to.
My engine is no longer in the front; it is in the middle. Do I look fucking good to you?
Just that
But-
old rolling down the window, you can just hear it.
It was the old. Here's the most retro. Here's the most redneck thing I've ever seen in my life. You know how certain vans have those like crank wheel kind of shit?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He had the audacity to put a Milwaukee drill to the door frame
Oh,
tied to it, so you can automatically roll down the window.
Oh my
Oh,
Lanta!
you are.
how
Wonder what this is here through the car too.
This, do you know,
All
I'm
I can
sorry,
see
but
was
this vehicle sounds. This vehicle sounds something like out of Wacky Racers.
Right?
yes, and but
Oh,
that's the
dear
goofy
Lord.
half of it. That's the goofy half of it. But the serious part of it is that at the end of my contract with them, I'm doing the same thing Toki is doing, and that is having a temp agency. And halfway through it, they looked at me as like, "You're doing really good. We're gonna buy out your contract." I'm like, "Cool. That's really cool." 2 hours later, get the fuck out.
Oh shit!
I looked at them and was like, "What did I do?" They said, "Well, you've been underperforming our other employees, and you have no obligation to stay here any longer, so we have evicted you from property. If you return within 48 hours, you will be permanently prosecuted as trespassing."
What the
Wow.
I looked at them and was
So
like,
because you're making
"Watch me."
the other employees look bad. That's real. Yeah, that's great encouragement.
No,
Yeah.
that's because
and
he does
employment,
his work well, and he
No,
it
no, no.
costs
And my
the
ass-
client less
And
money.
my ass actually showed up for fucking work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I never understand companies that like to
Now,
milk the fucking
here's-
teat of things.
Here's
Mhm.
the other job.
doesn't
Here's
work.
the fun one. Here's the real fun one. So, I worked at this company for since it was the beginning of the new year. Yeah, it was at the beginning
Yeah.
of the new year. And I was in there for about 4 or 5 months. I was doing my job. I was getting my stuff done. And about 5 weeks into it, they hired someone new for the management position. Yet I had the management position. I turned it down. I had my reasons because I don't want to look like Rozzy whenever I turn 25. But
What the fuck?
Ouch.
Nice.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Rozzy,
That.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
If I
Whatever.
shows
Talk to
up
the
with a
hand.
black eye, now you know why.
It's gonna be fun.
Just note-
So every 1,000, we're gonna do a face reveal. It's gonna be fun when we come around to everyone.
Oh dear.
I just scare everyone to death.
I,
Oh, hush.
yeah. No,
You
no
look
one
like my
wants to
damn
see
dad.
my
You look like my damn
I'm the-
dad.
I'm the doppelgangster.
Yes.
Double ganger.
Seriously though.
Not gangster.
Doppelgangster.
Okay.
I
okay.
look like
Okay,
Ryan
okay.
Reynolds.
Okay.
Honestly.
The irony is, I look like his dad, and I'm only 2 years old.
If you squint really,
No.
really hard.
You're the
Anyway.
And are
brother
blind
of
in one
another
eye.
mother.
All right,
Exactly.
back to the story, so everybody else can do theirs. At this company, it was getting all right. It was doing okay. Then she was hired, and that's when she started to show her true colors whenever she became management. She was a raging sexist. She only believed that women should be in that line of work. And me being one of the only 3 guys in the company, and she targeted me first. Because I actually spoke my mind and talked to people versus hiding in a corner like some people. And I looked at her, she came over to my station one day with a red ticket, which is what I needed to do like in probably 4 or 5 days. And she looked at me and said, that has to be done today. It's a red ticket. It doesn't have to be done until a week later. I don't give a fuck. It's your responsibility now, and it's not my job.
Wow.
Next 2 minutes passed by. I got it done. I got everything set up. And she came back to me and said, open the box and put it back in.
Huh?
I'm like, why? Because you didn't put the other material in it with it. I'm like, yes, I did. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. Well, I didn't see it. She took it out and put it on her table, hid it underneath a bunch of paperwork, and tried to say that I didn't put it in there.
But please tell the viewers how she got her position. Her position.
Let's just say... Oh, it was only on 2.
Oh.
Oh,
it was...
bobbing an apple.
Yeah.
She was bobbing an apple. But
she went fishing for
Karma came back. Karma came back about a week later after I was let go. And the vehicle she has been driving was reported stolen.
Karma is a biatch.
2018 Range Rover.
Don't fuck with Karma.
And that's only the icing. Found of narcotics and other narcotics and many other unconsumable items were found in the vehicle, along with one unregistered vehicle underneath an alias name, and another vehicle that has not been paid for months. Yet they couldn't find it because they searched her home, and it was found buried in the backyard.
Wait, buried?
Oh.
Jesus.
Why do I feel like she's trying to play Tetris?
Later finding out, she has actually had 2 arrest warrants out for her in the state of Ohio and Wisconsin.
Oh my word.
Oh my word.
She sounds like
she a member of a
catch.
fucking cartel?
But the funniest thing is, the charges were for Grand Theft Auto, possession of narcotics, identity fraud.
Damn. I've just got one thing to say.
Emotional damage.
Yes.
Let's just say that building they were using is now heavily duct taped and caution tape.
Damn.
Hey, but the building went up for sale. If we get enough viewers, if we can buy the building and turn it into an actual set, it's big enough.
I thought you was all coming over here.
Exactly.
That means I've got to move to America. Yeah, I thought you were coming to the UK.
America.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
But with current leadership
no,
that we have here, I think I'll probably go with his plan.
Yeah, the only reason why I say that is because I'm sorry, but God bless the NHS.
But needless to say, if you're gonna get somebody part of a temp agency who actually knows their shit, at least try to cover your tracks and not put your nose in people's shit.
Don't hide
Because
underneath
2
the
companies,
shelf. Not gonna help you. Not gonna help you alone.
But here's the funny thing about that job. The funny part about that job, a week prior to the CDC and everyone else showing up, he decided to buy a brand new 2021 Toyota Tacoma limited edition.
Oh.
Pearl white rims. I put a lift kit on it, and I put side guards on it while I was still employed with them. And I just looked at them and said, do I get to keep the truck, or are y'all going to impound it and crush it in front of him? Because I'd like to see that more than me driving it. He paid it for straight out cash. He bought it for straight out cash for $40,000. It was fully loaded. It had the GPS, built-in Bluetooth. It had all that nice stuff.
No.
Then the week I got fired, the prior week, the week after, it was in a car accident.
Damn.
The person driving is perfectly fine. He got out unscathed.
Good.
But all I could see was the sticker on the back of it saying, "Not a problem, problem," upside down.
Oh dear.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Okay.
Who's next?
I think we'll go to Rozzy, and now it's his turn to show and tell. Well,
Dun,
mostly
dun,
tell.
dun. Well.
All the juicy details.
Yes.
No one expects the Rozzy Inquisition.
Damn. Well, where do I start? Oh, trying to think. So I've had, yeah. Let's go with. Oh, hang on. The last one or the one before the last one? So the office
the
job
one where
or
you
the
office job.
the office job, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'd worked for that company for, let's say, over 8 years. It was an office-based job. I was working there. I was start of lockdown. It was we were moved into doing home working, so we were working from home permanently. The manager or the MD, I'm not going to say the owner of the company because he's not the owner of the company, he's the MD. The company is owned by a corporation. But it was owned originally by an individual who was a bit weird, but fairly decent guy. Let's just say he was like a bold version of Boris Johnson.
Oh, jeez.
It was, yeah. It was. If
Any
you
version of
put
Boris
a mop
Johnson
on his
or-
head, it would be like Boris Johnson. The way he spoke and everything, his mannerisms was hilarious. It was great. He was a cracking guy. But anyway, this new MD, who we won't name for obvious reasons, but let's just say he's an absolute cunt. Am I allowed to say that?
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh,
It's
I
out
think
there
we have
now.
to-
You can't bring
no,
it back.
But I think we have to beep that out.
Hey, we're 18 plus. Let's roll
Okay.
with it.
No,
Because-
no.
No. Oh wait, yeah, no. We have to bleep that out.
So,
You trying to say no or
we
start
have to
them
beep
over?
that out.
Bleep it.
Bleep
Bleep
it.
it.
No.
Bleep it.
Yeah,
Bleep
put
it.
that
Yes,
on.
sorry.
Put that on. That's our new bleep tone.
Yeah. Basically,
It's
he's
like
a
don't mess with
narcissistic
Zohan.
arsehole.
No.
Didn't say the magic
Yes.
word.
Children. Healed. Child.
Yes.
Oh god, the fish is having a seizure. The fish is having a seizure. Hold up.
It's his turn. It's his
Someone
turn.
get him some water. Someone get him some water. Get him some water.
Some water.
I will say it was my fault because I did the first.
She's doing it back.
She started it.
Okay. Rewind.
Breathe.
I don't mind you give me a kiss, but don't stick your crotch in my face.
Ooh.
All I heard was stick your crotch in his face.
I had both.
Okay, going back to Rossi.
Where was I?
Cunt.
Yes.
He was an ass.
Yes, he's a narcissistic asshole, and is he being a bad wolf? Is he being a bad wolf?
Yeah.
Melanie,
Me
you'll have to
Melanie,
punish
you
him.
know what to do. Melanie, you know what to do.
Spank him.
But not in the
Beat him
fun
like my
way.
mom used to beat her
But not in the
carpets.
fun way.
Make sure he can't do laundry for a week.
Children!
Stop it. I think this episode's got a bit nuts.
It's just timing between me and Toki.
I'm talking about dirty laundry. These two are just arguing over here. Melanie's zoned out. Ren's just looking at us like, okay.
Oh,
Two cats in a
We
mirror.
gotta have some fun, okay?
Mhm.
We're
Oh,
talking
definitely.
about
Otherwise, it'd just be
assholes.
too depressing.
Yes,
Eh,
the narcissistic
Okay.
kind.
We're gonna have a laugh, otherwise it'd just be too depressing.
yes.
But
Okay.
yes. Where was I? Yes.
Cunt.
He was an
He's a
asshole.
narcissistic asshole. Yes, and he didn't like the fact that I'd been in that job for many years, and I didn't have like a degree in what we do, because no one does. And I was, I've got a lot of knowledge and experience in what we do and in the company, and I've worked in many different departments, and he didn't like the fact that I knew more than him because he'd only been in the company a couple of years. And because he was the MD, he was expected to be, you will respect my authoritative kind of attitude.
He's going to
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I don't go for that shit. Yeah, exactly. I don't go for that crap. I just see it as, no, if I really see that something is not going to work, I will chime in and say, I'm sorry, it's not going to work, but I will give my reasons why. I don't just go, nope, not going to work, and then shut up. I just, I give the reasons. If they don't accept those reasons, fine, I've put my penny in. We'll watch this unfold, see what happens. If I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up. I was wrong. Fair enough. It does work. I am. But he just would not accept anything I say. He would only listen to the people that have the higher education and all that crap.
All the brown noses.
Basically,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And there was
degree in brown nosing.
There was a few people. Yeah, there was a few people that left the company, and they had all of these like leavers dues and things like that, where they celebrated their time with the company and all that lot. And it's like, fair enough. Yeah, fair dues. Hats off to you. They did some good work. They did some really good work. They were really cracking guys and girls, But yeah, I wasn't feeling too good one day, and we had a video call, and I made a joking comment.
I remember
about
this.
Yeah, the joking comment, which everybody in the company has said exactly the same comment. And it was, this company and logic, that doesn't mix. It was, it's a joke. As if they don't follow logic. It's like,
It'd be ironic if the name of the company was actually like Logitech or something like that.
No, it's nothing like that. The name of the company is absolute bullshit as well. But
no name.
It's the name of the company is an acronym, but it doesn't match the acronym of the word itself. What it says doesn't match what we do. only the individual letters match what we do. It's yeah. If I said the name of the company, you'd be thinking that doesn't sound anything like what you do. But yeah. But anyway, and so yeah, I then all of a sudden I'm then being portrayed. Bearing in mind, I've had glowing appraisals, fantastic reviews. I've had customers really pleased with their responses from me and things like that. But no, all of a sudden, I'm this horrible person. I got called into the office to have a bollocking. I'm this horrible person. I've got a bad attitude. I've got this, that, and the other. And I'm like, hang on a minute. I see where this is going. Do you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm out. So after that meeting happened, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I told him, I wasn't feeling great that day, and I made a joking comment. I apologize if it came across in the wrong manner. I apologize. I can hold my hands up if I really made a mistake. But no, I just got an attitude from it. So it was a case of, fine, after that meeting happened, I walked away and, went, no, I'm going off sick. So I went off sick. And then it was, I went to the doctors, explained to them the situation, and graciously they signed me off for quite a long time. Thank you. And that meant that I got paid, which is awesome. So I ended up having, this was the karma. I had 3 months off work.
Oh,
full
nice.
pay. Sat on my Todd, raking it in, not having to do anything. And then that final day because that whole time I was looking for another job, and that final day when I got offered another job, I took great pride in handing in my notice. It was, here's my letter of resignation. Fuck you. But you know what the funny thing was? The funny thing was, and I didn't expect to get one either, at no point did I get contacted to say, let's have a leaders do, or let's have a meeting about celebrating your time with the company. Like, nothing at all.
Nada.
So that was them trying to give me the middle finger. Well, fuck you. Here's 2 fingers up to you, because I got one up on you. Because the other bonus is, hang on a minute. Although it's a terrible thing what's going on in Russia and Ukraine at the moment, the company had a massive contract with Russia. Oh dear, has that gone to pot now? Never mind, life's a bitch.
Nice. Nice.
Oh dear.
That is a big yikes. That's going to be a big yikes.
Yes. Yes. And I know, as I say, I know it's terrible what's going on with Russia and Ukraine at the moment, and it really is a terrible thing. But I am sorry. I have to enjoy that little silver lining.
That little bit of like.
I'm sorry, but I have to.
This is against the company who fucked him over.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Just to clarify.
Yes. Yeah. But I do feel bad for one of the Russian guys we had working there, who unfortunately they cut the contract with him, which is a shame because he was an amazing guy and he did some amazing work.
The thing is, though, they're taking it out on all the people, but I know we want to avoid this, but I'll just say it for the record: do not blame the people, blame the politics.
Exactly.
Oh, definitely.
I'm not going to comment on that. Okay. Do you want to talk about the other work experience you had, or do we jump to Run?
Oh, my other one. Yes, that one. That was an interesting one. That's ironically the job I went to next. It was, it was a shame because the work was good. It was really good work, but I enjoyed doing the work, is what I mean. But it was let's just say, illegal what they were trying to get us to do. You have to have legally.
Amazing how many employers really don't care about law and what they're supposed to not do.
And that's just
I don't care where you're in the world.
That's just like me in my last job. That was like me in my last job. Taking name tags off certain things and putting the company's name on it. Yeah, that's not plagiarism.
Oh,
I can tell you
the
that.
whole you mean the whole "Made in China" label peeled off and then the logo of the company put on instead?
Yep.
Yeah.
There was so many places I worked at that were just out and out, completely bald-face illegal, and that was company norm.
And the funniest thing is, they actually asked more. They asked more for that product, more than was actually worth, just because of the name change.
Selling a brand.
One of the normal Lance.
So, no. Let Rossi finish what he's saying.
Okay.
So good. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah. It was illegal, but yeah. They basically, it was to do with working hours. I was working like 10-hour days was like the minimum requirement, which fine, no problem. 10-hour days, it's fine. 5 days a week. But I was doing a late shift where I wouldn't finish until 11 o'clock at night, and then expected to start the next day at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, you actually have to have legally an 11-hour gap between each shift.
Yep.
Yep, that is
Not
actually
here.
true.
I think it's 8.
I'm sorry if my maths isn't that good, but I'm pretty sure that's not 11 hours.
Right?
Now, over here, it is a legal requirement to try and put a tackle on fatigue-related accidents.
I don't think we even have anything like that over here, honestly.
We do.
I know that when I worked at McDonald's,
total of a 9-hour break.
9 hour?
Right, that's what it was. They had me at closing, and they asked me to do it early in the morning, and I was like, I can't do that. I need to have a couple hours extra so that I can actually wake up.
Yeah.
So. Boulder Dash. But go on.
So a lot of places I worked at 24-hour call.
To do that.
Yeah, basically, I ended up. I had to work less than 11-hour gap between each shift, and there was one day where I was on my way to a job in London, actually, central London. Scary, and it was. Sorry, driving in London. If anybody knows how to drive in London,
it's hell.
Yeah,
it is horrible,
especially when you're not from London. It's yeah.
It is horrible and terrifying.
Yes,
I'm glad I live in Florida.
Yeah, I was on my way to a job in London, and it was on an early shift, but I'd just done a late shift where, like I said, I'd finished at like 11:30 at night to then start at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I literally zoned out on the motorway. I zoned out, and all of a sudden, I suddenly sort of woke up, if you want to call it that, and I was doing 70 miles an hour in a 50 zone. I was just on autopilot. I was
no.
In and out of traffic.
Yeah.
Not
you were coma sleeping.
Yeah,
coma sleeping. The body is on high alert. The body is running autonomously, but the head is asleep.
Yeah, but as soon as I snapped out,
scary.
That was it. Brakes went on. I slowed the vehicle right down. I was like, Jesus Christ! What the hell happened? Finished that day, and then got home after the shift, and spoke to the wife, and she went, "No, you're not doing that anymore. You're not doing that anymore. No, not happening." So I phoned them up, gave them my notice, because luckily I'd only been in the job for a short period of time, so I didn't have to give. I actually didn't have to give any notice. Technically, I should just didn't turn up. But no, I phoned up and said, "Sorry, I'm not doing the job anymore. No, this is not right. I can't do that. It's, explained what had happened. Well, they got a bit funny with me. Yeah, exactly. They got funny with me. He's like, oh, well, can you do us a favour and just do this week and all that? I was like, no, sorry, no. Looking at the shifts that you've sent me, that was the other thing. I had to give them a month's notice for holiday, but they only have to give me less than 1 working day's notice for my shift pattern for the next week. I'm like, hang on a minute. So if I've got to give you a month's notice when I want to take time off, but yet you only have to give me the Friday evening to tell me what I'm doing next, my job locations and that for the next week. Nah, fuck off.
Exactly.
That was not going to work here.
Yeah. And yeah, when they got all shitty about me wanting to leave and all that lot, it's like, well, sorry. And then it was about returning the vehicle and that lot. I said, well, considering I've handed my notice, am I still insured to drive the vehicle to take it back? That was my question. Yeah. And they went, yes, you're still insured. Okay, no problem, I'll deliver it back. Where do you want it delivered back to? And they wanted me to deliver it all the way somewhere fucking up north and all that lot. And they were expecting me to get all funny and say, no, not happening. Then they were threatening to charge me for collection fees if I didn't return the vehicle. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Okay. If we really want to go down that route, not a problem. I'll tell you what, I'm going to charge you for storage fees while it's parked on my property. And my rates are going to be 5 times higher than your collection fee. Should we work it that way?
Nice.
And then, lo and behold, they said, oh, you can deliver it to a guy fairly local. So that's what I did. Yeah, not a problem.
You still should have charged them for the 1 hour.
Yes. Delivery fees. Delivery fees.
But that whole
several days.
Yeah.
But that whole experience where you basically you woke up, I tried that too. Like you know you're driving, and you reach your end destination, but you don't know how you got there.
I've done
You can't remember
times.
anything. That's scary.
And that's because I mostly work night shifts now.
It is absolutely terrifying.
Okay, Heal, do you have a story you want to share, if I'm correct?
Yeah, I do. Basically, this was about what? This was the same back in 2015. I was doing some seasonal Christmas work. I won't mention the company name because, to be honest, I don't even know if that company's actually gone bust. Wouldn't surprise me if it did. But basically, the manager there, I was given the night shifts, from 8 in the evening to 1 in the morning. And the night manager didn't start till about 9 o'clock. So we had to deal with the day manager for an hour. She was a bitch. Completely lazy, constantly at a fucking oh, I'm better than you stance. Just because she was a manager.
Oh dear, yeah.
To the point, she was literally that up her own ass that she actually got about 5 of us to fix one aisle, clear up one aisle, then gave us a bollocking for not being at our assigned post when you literally just fucking pulled us to fix up this aisle. It's at one point, I was asked to tidy up the bathroom aisle, fill up the shelves, make them look tidy, and so on. I literally got all the way through, and I was about 10, 15 feet from the end of the aisle. And she comes up and says, why are all the towels down there scruffy and looking like they've just been thrown around? I said, well, I'm just about to get to them. I've literally just come from here, got you, I'm literally just about to get there. And it's well, I want you to do it now. It's I'll do it in a second. The fucking glare she gave at me. I says, you want to stare at me? I can stay back. Right? You asked me to do this aisle. I started from that end, and I'm working across to that end. I'm not going from that end to that end, back and back and back and back. If you want to do that, do it yourself. I got sent home for that day. But honestly,
but
none
doing
of
it
us efficiently?
Yep.
No one liked it.
How dare you do
not even
things
the other managers.
efficiently?
Exactly.
But this is where it gets even better. About, I think it was either 2018 or 2019 in October, there was a massive investigation from all the way from their head office. And basically, it was actually after the investigation found that she actually stole money from the company of up to £5,000,
Oh my.
and actually stole merchandise and product of up to about £10,000. It was literally all over her house. Fucking turf, TVs, bedding, bathroom material, everything. About 10 grand's worth of product she stole.
Dang.
And any other bits and
Stupidity at
pieces she
its
probably
best.
stole on the side.
Hmm.
But I tell you what, a lot of people celebrated that she was arrested. A lot of people loved it.
I can imagine. Jesus.
No one misses it. And I'm actually enjoying the store I'm actually enjoying going to the shop more often now that's actually replaced it. Because it's a wholesaler's and it is cheap. It's like Rosie,
I like
it's
cheap.
like a crate of 24 cans of Coke. How much for one crate?
I couldn't honestly say because I don't buy crates of Coke. But if you go and buy
This one,
the
2
big
crates
litre
of
bottles,
24, so that's 48 cans for £24. That's 50 pence a can.
nice.
Not
Yeah,
bad.
because you
Cans are
normally
usually
pay
fucking
what,
nearly
like
a pound
over.
now because I fucking sugar tax.
Mine too.
Yeah, you pay more
I
than
had a
that,
brain
more than a
fart.
pound actually.
There's no
That's a pretty heavy
connection.
Coke, really.
That's what that smell was.
What?
It went meow.
Let's just say it's like
Well, I
it's
can-
like different drinks.
No, not that. It was the whole math kind of thing.
Yes.
Meow.
Well, it's like, think of it this way.
My
It's
brain
like
hurts.
they got Fanta there. I can get 4 crates of Fanta Fruit Twist. That's 4 times 24. 24, 48, 72, 96? Yeah, 96 cans for less than 50 pence per can. 96 cans for 50.
That's number stuff. Number stuff make my head go
honey,
burr.
in US, it's the equivalent of what? $1 compared to here in the US.
Okay.
So 50
roughly.
pence.
It's about
It's,
60,
Wouldn't it be about
70
75
cents?
cents?
$1.3 to the pound. So the
It's
pound.
roughly
yeah,
about
it would-
$1.29 to a pound.
So yeah, it's
Can I
about
say
$1.
something?
Hmm.
Can I say something?
Hmm?
Go on.
Meow, 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 meow.
Okay, Peanut.
All right.
The only
Well,
reason
I guess-
I know it's 1.3 is because I was looking at the conversion rate because I'm looking at buying Slime VR and they were selling that in dollars and yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
I was gonna
Because
say-
my
I am
Connect
drooling with envy.
my Connect
What's
full body
that?
tracking has just gone.
Yes.
Slime VR,
Hmm?
full body tracking, but for the lesser
Hmm.
price compared to if you have to use the
Yeah,
valve.
but you know, there's certain things that can actually do better
Will
than the
work,
Valve
but
trackers. It doesn't need
it
It doesn't have the
I'm gonna go to
restrictions.
work because I've just been shouted at.
Okay.
Hmm?
Thank
No
you
worries.
for joining us. Our
Toodling
fistic
a bit.
has to go to work.
Yes. Well, I think this is.
Only you.
Tatty bye.
He has a real job.
Boy.
Yes.
I wish it was a real job. I wish I got bloody paid for it.
Did you go?
Bye-bye.
Ooh. Well, do we have
So,
any
yeah.
other stories we want to tell, or do you think that was been around the table?
Well, I know you shared a little bit to begin with,
Mhm.
but don't you have
Hmm.
one?
I can have one quick story. It was actually my very first actual job working for someone else because when I actually started making money and stuff like that, I was a young snot-nosed kid, but I was a hacker for hire. I would set up, I'd build computers and stuff like that and sell computers, and just did a lot of stuff in the computer trade. So I was self-employed, and I was making really good money too. And then stupid kid, I listened to someone is, oh, you can't be doing that kind of stuff. You need to get a regular job like everyone else so you can pay into the system, do all other stuff. Mind you, at the time I was making about $100 an hour as a freelance computer geek.
Damn.
But I figured, oh well, maybe they're right. Maybe I should get a regular job, so I can pay into the system and do all this other stuff and whatever. And yeah, so the only job at the time where I lived that was hiring was a like not a convenience store, but a retail store. And so I went in there, minimum wage. Me coming making about $100 an hour, actually building up my own business. Dumb kid. So I go there, work for minimum wage. And my first check that I got was like, well, this is a really cute tip. But, where's my actual check? So yeah, and then so I worked there for a grand total of maybe a week. I was a cashier, and this one day, my boss's best friend came in with a bunch of stuff. I was hurried to the side. Oh, I'll check this one. I'll check this one out. And I knew about how much was in that cart, which it should have been about $300-400 worth of merchandise. She didn't know that I was standing right beside her or behind her this entire time because it was my lane, my till.
Checkout line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when she got through checking everything up, it was $36.
What?
Yeah, and then she rung it up, took the card, then turned around, and then she did like a double take. It's like, how long are you standing behind there? It's like, well, this is my lane, I'm standing here watching my till. I'm being responsible for my money.
Mm-hmm.
The next day I came into work, like all my scheduling was gone, all this other stuff was gone. I was dragged up to the front office. It's like, well, your performance has been all this other stuff. You'd have problems with authority, all this other stuff. It's like, what do you mean? Where's this coming from? I've had nothing but good reviews. And it's, oh well, we decided to let you go. We don't want you here anymore. And I was like, wow. So I caught my boss passing merchandise, and I was fired for it. Way to go.
Woohoo!
Jesus.
That's because he knew he got routed out.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of something similar that happened, not to me, but to someone I worked with in a previous job. There was a guy that got sacked because of something a manager did on that person's login. The manager was looking at porn on someone else's login, and obviously the IT guys have spotted the login that was used, and so this poor guy got sacked due to a manager's fucking shit.
What an asshole!
Yeah.
How could you do that?
And there's no way he's going to admit it either. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you have a boss or a coworker that makes your life a living hell, you can seek help. Don't just let them abuse you. Stand up for yourself, because even though you might get fired, you still can look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I did what I could.
I think that's a good lesson too.
Really, really unhappy in a job. If you're really unhappy in a job and you feel like you need to leave, do think about it. Look for another job. Seriously, it is not worth the stress and strain hanging around in a job you do not want to be in. It's really not. I've done it myself where I stayed in a job and I made myself ill from it, and it's not good.
Yeah.
Just if you really feel you need to leave, find another job.
Okay.
It's hard, it's horrible to try and find another job, but do it.
Well, the thing is I know so many people who, I'm sorry, but they're scared of their job. They're scared of, losing a job they absolutely hate. And, there was a statistic, too, that people don't actually quit jobs. They quit bosses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 76% of people quit because of a bad boss. 10% quit because of bad coworkers. And the other one actually have a legitimate reason to quit.
Exactly.
And yeah, don't be afraid to. No matter where you are, there is workers' rights. There is things you can do. There's always something. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Don't be afraid to use the tools don't be afraid to use the tools given to you, even if it's outside of that particular business, because there's a lot of things outside of any business that you can do to help your situation better.
Just like the job I have now, I actually love it because I get left alone. I do a job I get to do, and I don't have to worry about anyone riding my ass.
Yeah, and I like my current job as well.
But I love this one.
Bum bum.
I think we have been above and beyond and round and back again. And I think, Ren, will you count us out?
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us this week on the 6873 show. Stay tuned for next show. We hope to see you guys on the next show. Until then, everyone out there, have a great week. And we will see you next time.
Toodle in the pit.
And to all our potato chips out there, take care and be safe. It's a love. Bye. Oh no, he's fine. He does perfect. He just 13 is running. 13 is running.
Amazing.